On the corporately ruled world of Druckenwell, one small company, Krensten's Medical Miracles, has just had a major breakthrough, greatly improving the potency of their Bacta. Brac, the owner of the Dicey Cantina, and Lizzie Pree's Rebel Cell contact, has reached out, requesting Lizzie's aid in stealing the Bacta for his cause. Meanwhile, another interested party, claiming to be Nena, the head of security for Krensten's, has conveniently asked Lizzie to test his security. While on stakeout, Lizzie and Cuumann split up to test the weaknesses, only to find that they are not as stealthy as they think. How will they avoid capture? Will they steal the Bacta? And who will they give the edge to in the Galactic Civil War? So I think it's been a month since we played last.
At least.
Yeah, I think. Had we settled on or had we even discussed a plan of attack other than? I mean, I think I was probably talking about going in through the roof or something, but
You definitely pulled a Deadpool.
okay.
I remember that. I think the cops are on their way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I'm already in the building. Okay.
No,
No.
you're not in the building.
Oh,
so,
not.
So you guys
Oh,
have
that's
difficulty
right.
with your stealth rolls.
That's right.
Both of you. And so we left Cuumann having ascended one of the many buildings that surround this block that are significantly taller, 5, 7 stories, somewhere in that range. Mostly apartments, but variety to that. And you were hopping rooftop to rooftop around because you guys had from the vantage point you had in the back alley, you had seen basically kind of you had a full view of the front, which was like a curved window, kind of horseshoe shape building to it, but you hadn't seen the back side of the building yet. So you guys were both working your way around to the back to check and kind of case that when you both have been seen by the security guards. And Cuumann himself also ran into a fan of the Jedi Vigilante, little boy, I think it was.
Oh, that's
reading
right.
comics,
Yeah. Okay.
who was super excited to see you and woke up everybody on his floor, and subsequently loud noises were made. And so the Druckenwell Security Corps has been called. They haven't arrived yet or anything like that to investigate the suspicious person or the suspicious noises.
If I'd been wealthy, I could have just thrown him an earpiece. I've seen that in the movie, but I'm not that rich.
No. Your technology is hardly hard fought. But I believe the last episode ended with Cuumann waving at the security guard in the lobby who had seen him jumping from building to building. Just a nice little coy wave between you two. And discussing that with another security member standing at the desk. And then Lizzie, where we had left off, had tried to go the opposite direction. So where from the front of the building, Cuumann has gone off to the left and around. Lizzie has gone to the right. And she was shooed away rather rudely by one of the first floor security guards, even though she wasn't anywhere near the property or on the property at the time. She was just walking the street, and he got a little antsy and told you to go away. And Lizzie was on her way to Bob's Noodles. That was the block away, I think, is what we had established from there. And so I think we'll pick up from there. I think that's a pretty good summary of where things were at. And we'll start, Lizzie. You've walked. You're just a shy of arriving at Bob's Noodle Stand, a block away from Krensten's there. There's it's about 3 a.m. I think at this point in the morning. There's Bob's Noodles is a 24-hour operation. That's a little almost hot dog cart, but for noodles. Very Blade Runner-esque in the sense, but it's run by a multi-armed kind of hovering droid to it, whose name is Bob. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but I assume that Bob is an acronym. And
Almost always.
He's serving noodles to a rather strong-looking female chiss, which is just a humanoid that's blue with red eyes. So it looks like a person, but another blue-skinned person. They just are all over Druckenwell for some reason.
Right.
And,
Just around me.
So it's serving up a bowl of noodles to this woman, and there's one or two other people, nondescript, just standing in line. But you hear the rather robotic voice of Bob as you're closing to the kiosk that there you go, Nena. Thanks for stopping by once again.
Nena.
And she thanks him and starts heading back towards Krensten's.
Interesting. Because we did think it was super weird that a guy was named Nena.
We did. It was not a genius mistake at all. No one rewind the tape.
Right. There's no way that was a problem. All right. But that's curiouser and curiouser. Well, Lizzie will keep an eye on Nena and walk up to the counter because she doesn't want to be like, Nena? Oh, I'm just going to... That's not weird at all. So Lizzie will keep an eye on Nena and then approach the counter and, ask for noodles from Bob. Make some comment a little too loudly about how those jerks over at Krensten's gave her bad directions to this noodle stand. You'd think they'd know where it is. Because they did. They sent me all the way around, didn't they?
Yes. They asked you to backtrack and go the long way around. I'd forgotten that. Good memory there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the mention of Krensten's loudly, because you're speaking loudly enough for this Chiss to hear you, right? That's
yes.
the idea. So I think,
but not like yelling at her,
right,
Right.
It's very, very PI of you to talk to the droid, but not talk to the droid. Right. I think that you see just the smallest hitch in her step when you mention Krensten's, but she doesn't turn, she doesn't look, she just carries on her way, carrying her bowl. But she is taking, she's on the path, the shortcut, the proper way, so to speak, towards Krensten's.
Okay.
And
then
Bob wants to know what you're ordering.
Does he have a menu posted? I'll have the special.
The special. So he starts serving up some noodles.
Fantastic. Is she still within earshot?
She's almost out of earshot. You're gonna have to talk almost in a yell if you want her to hear you.
She says, like, yeah, Bob, that scrawny Nena guy, like, so rude. I couldn't believe it. And she's going to act a little bit intoxicated.
Okay.
To justify the volume.
Interesting.
You wouldn't believe the type of things he's asking me to do lately. Told me he hired some PI to break into the facility? What?
I think that's where you get her. I think she's stopped now, and she's kind of... She's, let's do a roll to this. So... So the Chiss has stopped in her tracks, and she's kind of messing with the noodles, stirring them up. There's a little bit of steam to it, and she's just kind of taking the opportunity to kind of rest against a brick wall just down the way, very nonchalantly.
I position myself in the noodle stand so that I'm sitting at a place where she's in my line of sight. Like if she was, because I envisioned, like, I walk up to the noodle stand as she's leaving and she's been walking away, like, behind me. But whatever I have to do, like, I pull up a stool or whatever to where I can ostensibly be enjoying my noodles and chatting with this bot or this droid, but also, like, keep an eye on her,
Yeah.
the direction she's going, what she's doing, without obviously being like, I'm watching you. You know?
This is great. So I think as Bob hands you the noodles at the position and this kind of conversation that you've gauged him in, he's clearly programmed to have small talk and to keep the customers comfortable. And he says something to the effect of, "Excuse me, ma'am, I think you might be a little confused. Nena isn't a he. I see her all the time. She surely sometimes could be mistaken because she's so muscular, but." Are you an employee of Krensten's?
Muscular? Nena's not muscular. Nena is this scrawny, rangy looking fellow. Human, and I describe him briefly. Strange guy. That Nena.
And so I think if you've given a full description of the Nena you've encountered before, the Chiss in view, ears clearly, not clearly, this is all subtext for PIs to see. She clearly has heard everything that you've had to say, and she's now walking more quickly back towards Krensten's.
I didn't give a full description. I gave a loose.
So you
but
described it
if
as
she knows this individual, right? If she knows this person, she might recognize him based on that. But if it wouldn't be enough for like a random person to be like, "That's him,"
So let's do a perception check.
Yep.
To read this Chiss reaction to what you have there.
Cool.
Oh, let me pull my cheat sheet up. I like doing this more correctly than just off the top of my head.
What? Officialness?
Let's not go that far. Let's not go
All
that
right.
far. But I only have like maybe a third of the skills memorized. And
right. So what's my difficulty or whatever?
Yeah, so we're going to go off of... this character has stats. This Chiss has stats. And we're going to figure out which of those stats is going to set your difficulty.
This Chiss has stats.
Yeah. So it's going to be 3 purple and a black, a hard with a setback, because it is 3 a.m.
Jeez, don't make it, too easy. All right. 3 purple with the black.
Oh, come on.
And then I'm going to roll my perception, right?
Uh-huh.
That seems bad.
That's actually really good.
Okay. I'm never going to learn to read these dice, guys. Never.
So you've got 4 success with a threat.
Okay.
So in reading, as you're giving the description of this Nena, not a full description, but the person who talked to you in your office, you see just, how you get that like stiffness when you're trying not to look at somebody, and it becomes less natural than if you just didn't look at them.
Right.
You pick up on 4 key points of the things that you say that while you're describing this person. And so the first one is pretty clearly obvious, but it confirms that Nena, when you say that it's a he, that's the first kind of moment. When you describe him as spindly and angular, I think it rangy, that there's even a little bit further hesitation to that, and then you mentioned the job that you've been hired to do as part of that. That's
just that I heard that he had hired someone.
Yes. That is pretty much the moment where you see her stiffen and turn to head back to head in the direction of Krensten's. And then what was that? What would be your fourth one there? I think there would be some when you're talking about this person at Krensten's, there's a little bit of the hitch that has you believe that it's a Krensten's Medical Miracles employee.
Mm-hmm.
So,
does the droid point out to me? No, that's Nena.
No,
because she was just there.
Yeah.
Okay, but I heard that that's Nena, so
yes,
I know it is.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can grill the droid, but your current roles, your current interaction has given you that level of information that, I mean, it's just not a lot, but it's still some clues.
Okay. But she looks like she's in a hurry to get back to deal with something, not necessarily like she wants to talk to me.
Yes, her pace is heading back towards Krensten's, and it's quicker than it was before. You would describe her walk before you started talking as more of a casual walk, someone out to lunch, just enjoying their evening, and now the walk is definitely with a purpose.
Okay,
still with
but
that same stiffness of not trying to look obvious.
Right, but I catch it. Like it's. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and be obvious. Like I'm gonna leave my noodles at the counter and move quickly to catch up with her.
Okay. So you're just gonna walk up and talk to her, or
yeah, yeah. At this point, I think we're just gonna talk.
Okay.
Because now it smells real fishy. I don't recognize this other guy, right?
Which other guy? The person you're describing, the Nena?
Yeah.
No, you didn't recognize him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go talk to her.
So how do you approach?
Just. I just come up and say, "Hey, you seem like you're in a hurry,
what
Nena.
Do you want?
I want to know why somebody's pretending to be you and asking about the security at Krensten's Medical Miracles."
I couldn't tell you anything about someone pretending to be me, but
I think you could.
Well, I certainly don't discuss matters of security with people I haven't met.
Well, someone on your team does.
Well, that sounds like an internal matter. I don't believe I've met you before, madam. And I'm gonna head back to. I mean, yes, I'm Nena and the head of security for Krensten's Medical Miracles, but that's all I'm going to say. And she's still walking along, so you're gonna have to kind of keep pace with her.
Okay, well, Nena, maybe we can help each other out. Seems like you got a problem on your team, within your organization, and
yes, but I will deal with it. I'm not sure what I need help with. Who are you?
I'm Lizzie Pree.
Is that supposed to mean something to me?
It would if you were important enough. But yeah, if you got it handled, I mean, by all means, don't worry about it. If you find yourself in over your head, though, here's my card.
Oh, I see. You're a property infringement investigator. You're one of those.
I'm the best.
If you were the best, I believe I would have heard of you. Well, very well, Lizzie. Have a good evening.
It'll be better than yours, I'm sure.
I don't need any help.
Uh-huh. All right.
One way or the other.
So she goes to leave. You can carry on, but she's obviously being very short with you.
Yeah, if she's not going to talk to me, then she doesn't have to talk to me. I've already done my bit. And, yeah, I guess I didn't get any more information out of her except that she seems nervous about this guy, right?
Yes.
And it's somebody on her team.
Yes.
Somebody she knows anyway.
Yes. She definitely knows this person.
Yeah. So,
So, just to recap, we just told the head of security for the building we're trying to break into that we're trying to break into.
no, we told the head of security for the building that we're trying to break into that somebody on her team has contacted, is asking questions about the security there.
Oh, okay.
And like, I basically told her she's got a mole or a problem on her internally. So she's going to be looking inwardly while we're doing outward things, is my thought on that. Also, I want to know who this guy is that's posing as Nena. And I hope he's not like the Alliance, because I just ratted him after his boss.
Because we did meet a guy calling himself Nena, and it wasn't Nena. That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah.
I think for the questions in summary, I think that Lizzie clearly would have been perceptive during that conversation. You know, as short as it was, I think you could roll another of the exact same difficulty perception checks.
Fantastic! I would love to do that.
To check on what information's been shared on you, what level you feel about it.
That seems way less good than before.
Those are failures and a just metric ton of advantage.
A ton of advantage. Okay. Can I use advantage to like negate failure if I've got, say, 6 of them?
No. Failure is negated by success, and threats are negated by advantage. And so we have to basically, from being perceptive, you don't perceive any new information, but we have to add some advantages to what's going on.
I want my advantages to be, if I can pick them?
Yeah, definitely.
I would like to make her extremely nervous about this information. Like, I want this information to be very unsettling to her and something that she's going to really focus on. To the detriment, perhaps, of her other abilities, or other responsibilities. And if possible, I would also like some of that advantage to be like, for me to make it easier to find out who this Nena poser is. Like, if I go on not the internet, but like the company, look up some company information or whatever. They have a website. Mm-hmm. I know it's a different internet, but like that's, like the kind of employee roster page, or
the bulletin phone book or what have you.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that as part of that information, with Nena being or with the Chiss who identifies as Nena being Chiss, being nervous. I think with Nena being nervous, as she strides away from you, having completed this conversation, she's still talking loudly on her comm, and not being nearly as subtle as someone who is trying to be protective of information would be. Mm-hmm. So you can overhear a few things there. And so a couple of the things that you overhear is she's clearly on the communicator with the security guards that are almost in view, because it's just a block or two away, as you guys are heading towards the building.
I'm going to turn on my comms just open so that Cuumann can hear what's being said.
Okay. And so with that many advantage, I think there's kind of 2 key components to this that you overhear. It's that kind of conversation of someone who's clearly the boss is asking for someone to be at the door so she doesn't have to even break stride to go in the side door. Because you guys are on the furthest side from where you saw the lobby on the building. So she's the same door that someone came out and chased you off the long way around. She's asking for that door to be open because she's so nervous. And as she's doing that, they're informing her that there's been a call because someone's been jumping buildings around. And she tells them to call off Druckenwell Security Corp. That this is something that she wants to handle as the security team. If it's a security threat. So a chunk of your advantage goes towards you no longer on the clock at this moment, No one's coming to investigate the area except for the security guards that you've seen, and they're not leaving the building. But the notable absence of the thing that she's talking about is she doesn't say anything to the effect of there's a mole or anything like that. Her conversation leads you to believe that the person that she's nervous about is an external threat, because she's talking about locking down the building and things like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's something like they're getting ready to make their move. Be ready. Be vigilant.
Unfortunately, we're also an external threat getting ready to make our move.
Yeah.
Just to throw that out there.
Well, we are their instrument in this.
So what you're saying is I'm going to have to be really, really good at this next part to pull off.
Probably.
Yeah, so what is Cuumann up to now? As he's been jumping in buildings.
After, waving at the security guard and jumping around on buildings, I think the whole point was to get into position to perhaps jump onto the roof, or maybe get a better view of the backside of the building, or
So I think the key components that happen to Cuumann as you're making your hops around the buildings, your 4 sleeps, you're pretty much in a position, you're kind of catty corner to the back on the far side. So the building's between you and where Lizzie is. And you can make out the back zone of the building. The leap, it's definitely a roll if you want to try and get on the roof, but the lobby guard is standing at the window, looking in your general direction. It's dark. He may or may not have eyes on you. You just see his silhouette, but he's trying to keep tabs of where you're at.
Could I attempt to deceive him in some way to make him go, if he is looking at me, to make him think that I'm just some weird guy, doing some nighttime guarding on the roof or something like that? Just kind of blend into the background, or look incognito, or, deception or stealth, or one of those. I think
Cuumann would be more on the stealth end of this, where he's aware of the area and the fact that it's dark out, and being on top of buildings when it's lit from the bottom up, there's lots of shadows to be into. I think that you would have a stealth roll against this guy to basically make him just not know where you are.
Okay, I'm going to try to fade into the shadows then, and make him lose interest in what I'm doing, just in case I need to jump across.
Yeah. And so you are likely against 2, I think it's just average is what we were doing last time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 2 purple.
Well, no success, but I did get some advantage there.
Is that a dog?
Yes.
Drinking water?
Sorry.
Okay.
She's super loud.
No, it's fine. I recognize that sound.
Yes.
Thirsty puppy.
Yeah. She waits until about this time of night to just drink the water all day and then eat all the food. So
oh, cool.
This is going to be great for the next few minutes. So you fail another stealth roll, Cuumann. You think you try.
But I definitely have 3 advantage.
Definitely have 3 advantage. And really, this is a little retroactive, but I'm interested to see the result because it's so close. I should have given you a blue dice from how I described the scene with that. Okay. So if you roll just that single blue dice, we'll see. I bet it'll come up blank because that's just how things go.
Yeah, that should be about right. Yep.
I love being right.
Now, if it was a black dice, it would have been a failure.
Yeah. So I think that Lizzie had her comm open, and I think that, as part of her advantage, Cuumann, you're hearing this information. But I think for your advantage, one of the things you become aware of is that the roof of Krensten's Medical Miracles, definitely from your vantage point, has a 4-foot lip to it, a facade, as it were. And maybe we talked about that last time, but you can see from your angles, were you to make the leap, anybody who even steps outside and looks up wouldn't be able to see you on the roof, per se.
Oh, okay.
And you know that the local police have been called off, and that Nena has been directing her people to keep an eye out, and so you just have the one security guard. You are aware he's still looking in your general direction. He may or may not have eyes on you, but you only have the one person to kind of contend with for that leap. Which is really to say that you can have an extra boost dice, or you can give one to Lizzie on the next actions that you take. You guys have a boost dice floating around, because that's just not very good information.
Okay. Well, I guess if sorry. I'm guessing if that roof looks like it's going to be hidden, I might just go ahead and make that jump.
So, well, and I think one of the things I didn't lead into, but would mention now, your comlink is open to Lizzie. You guys can kind of discuss the situation and make a game plan. Because that's what the advantage you have on that jump. You may or may not be seen making the jump to the rooftop, but once you're up there, you might be able to hide. That
is certainly what a less impulsive person would do. But I think Cuumann would just probably go ahead and actually, what he's going to say is, I'm jumping onto the roof now, and then he's going to jump.
All right. So that will be a hard athletics roll.
Cool story, bro.
Lizzie's probably just going to roll her eyes like, what did I expect?
Lizzie waits for the sound of the horrific thump, like the crunch bone thud of Cuumann falling.
I might just use that. I might just use that blue die just in case.
There you go.
That boost die.
I recommend the use of the blue die.
And hard is a.
That's 3 purple.
All right, 3 purple. So I should be good there. All right, let's give this a roll. Okay, excellent.
Thanks for joining us. You know the deal here. Subscribe to stay tuned to our misadventures. If you enjoyed us, give us a like and hit that bell icon. And of course, keep us honest on the rules and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time on the Dicey Cantina.